Hi, I'm Max Pollock from Eightfold Property, and today we are going to talk about planning use classes. Last time around we recorded a video which was setting out all the different use classes that were there and the importance of planning ahead as a potential tenant, knowing what you needed and what you might have to do in order to obtain the correct planning class use that you required. At the 11th hour we had to pull that video as Boris decided to tear up the blueprints of the planning policy and recreate a whole new planning policy. So today we're back and we're here to talk about the E-class use. E-class as in planning use, not as in the type of Mercedes as we probably all better know it. Now we have the E-class use, which encompasses a number of planning use classes, A1, A2, A3, D1, D2 in a limited capacity, and also the B1 office use class. What we've got with this is it now enables occupiers to have a greater degree of fluidity throughout the different planning use classes and eradicates the need for planning applications or permitted development when they needed to change between these use classes previously. Previously, we used to have a multitude of planning use classes where you would have an A1 use for retail premises, shops, your local butcher, clothes shops and similar. You would have A2 for financial services, which would include estate agents and banks, A3 which was restaurants, and then you also have B1 which was office use, D2 which is leisure use, and D1 which was medical and nursery schools. These have now all been encompassed into the E-class use. However, in addition to that, there are still other planning uses such as A4 for a bar, A5 for takeaway, in addition to a number of others. With the A4 and the A5 use, these have now been changed to a sui generis use, which means it's a use class of its own and an individual planning application will be required for that if the property doesn't already benefit from that use. In regards to properties where you've got an A3 use and an A5 use, it's not currently clear how the government are planning to deal with this scenario. It's possible that historic A3, A5 uses will remain. However, any new ones will need to be looked at as separate entities, and if you've got an A3 planning class use, you may need to get an additional planning consent for sui generis, but as I say, we're still waiting to hear how this one will pan out. Like everything, one thing to bear in mind with these changes is whilst we've got a greater degree of flexibility on the planning side of things, we also need to sort of still bear in mind that there are other factors such as landlord's consent or planning for things like extraction or air conditioning units that will still be required. So due diligence does need to be carried out accordingly to make provisions for these parts as well. So all in all, I feel that the new E-class planning consent is a really positive measure for the economy and also the high street in general, which will allow a lot of uses to adapt to different properties and move more freely without the need for costly and lengthy planning applications, which up until now have delayed property transactions going through. If you want to take advantage of this new planning, by all means, we'd love to hear from you and hopefully we can help you find a suitable property accordingly. I'm Max from Eightfold Property. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.